Well, welcome to Vancouver Island.
Hmm. Yeah, it sounds great. Love to love to get there one day.
I understand that you have traveled widely, though.
I don't know about widely. I haven't been to the American continent at all yet. I've been to Greece, parts of Europe, Asia, um, and New Zealand. That's about all.
For some weird reason, I thought you'd made it to California. I don't know why I had that impression. That's really weird.
Oh, okay. No, not yet.
And in case people watching don't know who this is, and I hope you say your name right, John Lagoudakis.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, some of the people who follow internet marketing know about you, John, and that's because you are a respected person, partly because, from what I can understand, you're an honest business person. Do you think that sort of hits it a little bit, or am I leaving anything out?
Oh yeah, look, I definitely do my very, best to be honest in all that I do. Business, outside of business, I think it's important for, when I do things, I like to look at the long term. And everything's about relationships in life, business, family, friends. They're all very, very important. It's all about who you become.
Hmm.
I think is the important thing. It's the journey. I think a lot of us try to rush and get there, and I was like that, when I was younger. But the older I get, I'm not that old. I'm 42, turning 43 this year. But the older I get, I just realize it's the qualities that we develop are the most important, and that's why I love business actually because it really pushes me. So it pushes me to be, I have to perform.
Right.
At the end of the day, if well, when you have a job and you're getting a paycheck, nothing wrong with that, by the way. But and you have to perform there too. But if you're getting paid for your time,
Right.
and there's not as much pressure as there is when you have a business where if you things don't work out, you don't get paid at
Yeah,
all.
that's very horrible. Not, I mean, the absence of money, even though you've been putting out a lot of effort, and there's no one else coming at you
Mhm.
with a paycheck. That's that's kind of a rude awakening. Um, in your
Yeah.
personal journey with business, John, I remember because I've been following you now pretty faithfully since 2012, and in that process, I remember you mentioning a time when Google AdWords suddenly didn't give the joy anymore, and what a rude awakening that was as a business person who had transitioned into the internet marketing world too, right? Have I got this story at least partially right?
Yeah, definitely. So back in 2006, I sort of started to do my first thing at online marketing.
What was
And
that?
what I was,
What was that like? Sorry to interrupt you. Just what was that like?
yeah, it was good fun. It was pretty interesting back in 2006. Everyone was using when you're first starting out in 2006 as an internet marketer, what they were telling you to do was use Google AdWords because it wasn't as expensive like it is today, and there wasn't as many restrictions as there are today. So you can promote affiliate products, no problems with Google AdWords back in 2006. You can't do that now. You can only really promote your own website, and even then, depending on which industry you're in too, because if you're like in the internet marketing niche, you can't really. It's very hard to use Google AdWords because it's so expensive.
Right.
Um, but back in 2006, yeah, you could use Google AdWords quite easily. You People were using traffic exchanges a lot back then and safe lists
Okay.
as a way for free traffic
Right.
because You could just go and on a traffic exchange and list your website and go and earn credits by looking at other people's websites. But that doesn't work anymore today because I'm really not sure the exact. I don't know the reason why. I know it doesn't work. I think part of it is that you got a lot of people that were cutting corners.
Ah,
So and so I'll give you an example of what I mean. So with the traffic exchange, again, the way it would work is you would list your website. So you'd put your URL in the exchange, and and the way people would come and see your website was if you earn credits by looking at other people's sites. So
right.
the way it works basically, you check out other people's sites, they check out your site, and sometimes look, you'll get people that are interested in your offer, and they'll join your list, and you might, you'll make a sale and so forth. And I used to get subscribers every day, and I used to make sales through traffic exchanges back in 2006, 2007, 2008, around that time. But I think what some people started to do was they started cheating the system. Some people, so to get more credits for themselves, so their site would be displayed. They would get maybe hire people from India or somewhere else, from the Philippines, to click for them, or use micro. I forget the name. There's sites that you can hire people for and pay them literally pennies to do things for you.
Right.
So what you ended up happening was you had people that weren't buyers. They weren't really from the US or Australia or Canada or New Zealand, predominantly using these sites, or maybe they were using bots, like software that was cheating the system. But basically, you weren't getting subscribers anymore, and you weren't getting buyers anymore. So when that happens, you stop using it.
That's
That happened, and that happened with giveaway events too. I used giveaway events to build my list back in those years, and it worked really well. And same thing, same sort of thing with ad swap. Did a lot of ad swaps to build my list. So that's where I would find someone that had a email list similar to my size, and I'd promote their free offer to my list, and at the same time that person would promote my free offer to their list.
right.
So it doesn't cost you anything. We're both happy. It works out well for both of us, and I did that successfully for quite a few years and built my list from 300 to 20,000 and more,
Wow.
using ad swaps. So it didn't cost me anything. Worked really well back then. I stopped doing it 2012, 2013, something like that, because again, people cutting corners. So you had people cowboys coming on board. So we had a big community that were doing it really well, and then some people come on board, and again they're cutting corners. So they pretend they were sending you leads, but really the leads were useless. The subscribers were they weren't real people at all, or they were people from India or the Philippines. They weren't buyers,
Right.
and so they were pretending to send you good leads, but they weren't. And so that started happening, and that ruined it for everyone. So I haven't done ad swaps for years. But go back to Google AdWords. So that's how I really started to have success. Like where I made my first money before I even started building my list. What I did, Robert, I would find offers like CPA offers or ClickBank offers,
Right.
and I'd promote them on Google AdWords. And the reason why I was so successful is that I didn't pick generic keywords to target that everyone else is doing.
Right.
I would target this. It's what I would basically do. I would get the product name or the URL, and I would just target that. That was it. So I only had like maybe a few keywords in these ad campaigns, because it's only the product name and the URL. Because sometimes people, instead of putting the URL in the address bar, they put it in the search bar.
Right.
And so that's
Right.
And because my campaigns were ultra targeted, these were people that were looking for the product.
Yeah, no, it's got my attention. I hope
Yeah.
everyone's
So-
listening right now.
So I did really well. They can, I was paying a lot of money for those clicks because they
Yeah.
were, I think, they were competitive terms, but they converted really, really well. And so I would promote all the top ClickBank products, all of them, And so I was promoting at one stage over 400 ClickBank products.
John, just stopping
And,
you right there. When you say the top ones, you're talking about the gravity part of the ClickBank
yeah.
offer. What would be your minimum number that you would then, that's it, I'm not going after?
Oh, I think it was around 20.
Okay, that rings a
So
bell.
pretty much anything that had a gravity over 20, maybe even down to 10,
Okay.
I had a campaign for.
So you were
And
saying you had like 400 of these going at one point,
yeah,
at the
yeah, I
same
spent
time?
a lot at the same. I spent a
Whoa.
lot of time setting up these campaigns and tracking them and
Tracking.
tracking the keywords, how they were performing, because not all of them were successful.
Right,
Some of them
right.
didn't make money. And so I spent a lot. I spent months, more than months. I spent a couple of years building up these campaigns and optimizing them. And one day I wake up, and it was awesome. I wake up in the morning. I live in Australia, so in America most of my sales are happening. So I wake up in the morning, and just to see how many sales I made while I was sleeping.
Yeah, yes, this is like the golden bell ringing for all of us. While you're sleeping, you're making money.
While you're sleeping, the old cliche, cliche saying. So, and so one morning I woke up, and this is around July 2009, and this is just after I became a top 100 ClickBank affiliate. Woke up, and there's no sales on my ClickBank account. And look, there was some mornings when I wake up and there'd be like very low sales, but never no sales. It's quite unusual. So I checked my AdWords campaign, and there's no stats for the day. There's nothing happening. They're dead. And that's when I really start to worry. And then I'll check my inbox to see if maybe there's a clue why this is happening. And sure enough, there's an email from Google. And they were nice enough to tell me they had indefinitely suspended my AdWords campaign. I tell you, it was the worst day in my online business ever. Like, my heart just sank. It was mixed emotions. I was sort of dumbfounded. I was angry, I was frustrated, I was worried, it was all that kind of stuff. So, long story short, and that Google doesn't tell you anything. They won't give you any specifics ever. So anyway, I tried calling them, find out what's happening, and they said, basically what I found out was they had changed their policies like 3 weeks earlier, didn't notify anyone, they put it on their Google blog, but that's it. So if you don't read the Google blog, you wouldn't have seen it. And they basically, they didn't bother to notify me or anyone else at the time, but they didn't allow any more for ClickBank products, Make Money Online products, affiliate offers. They didn't want affiliates promoting it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Look, that's fine with me, but let me know. Don't just. And they wouldn't let me have my account back. They wouldn't. Even if I removed those, because not all the products I was promoting were Make Money Online products. A lot of them weren't. But that was it.
That's okay. Well, you know, that's, I could say that's weird of Google, but it's ancient history now. You can't go back in, I suppose, or would you want to? Assuming that you could or would go back into Google and do Google AdWords for some of these other niches that you once were involved in that were not in the Make Money Online space. As you mentioned, the cost is so high.
Yeah, look, I mean, now it's just not an option. I mean, back then, I could have continued if I wasn't promoting the products that they wouldn't allow for.
Right.
And that would at least allow me a bit ease. You know, I would have had some money coming in, which would have eased the burden and the stress as I moved on to something else. And I already started to build an email list. I sort of knew this was coming.
Right.
It wasn't a total shock to me, because I had heard about people having their AdWords campaign suspended.
Yeah.
And so I already started building a list, because I thought to myself, I'd always heard that you should have a list, and that you have more control over a list, because if you're building a list and you take care of that following, you can consistently make money with the list. You can sell products to them, your own products or affiliate offers or whatever. So there's much more stability in doing that. It's much better long term, and it's a good business model too. Because when you go to sell your business, if you have a database, it's valuable business. If you don't,
Right.
well, it still can be a valuable business, but it's not as valuable. So I already started building my list before that happened. But when it did happen, that's where I focused all my time with building my list. And back in those days, back in 2009, I did a lot of YouTube videos,
Right.
and they worked really well for me. I did a lot of short how-to videos.
That's where
And I got,
yep, that's where sorry to interrupt again, that's where I ran into you, was on a YouTube instructional video. It was part of a series that you were doing, and it was bang on, practical, everything was broken down, and you had it in quite usable segments. I've been trying to find them again, by the way, just out of nostalgia, but alas, some of your stuff has been changed, I think, on YouTube.
yeah, well, unfortunately, well, YouTube was acquired by Google. I can't
Right.
remember what year that was. And sure enough, the same thing happened again. All right. So, yeah, me and Google, we just don't seem to get on very well. Yeah, I got a bit of a bad taste in my mouth with Google. So I had hundreds of videos on YouTube,
Yeah.
over 200, and they were bringing me awesome lit traffic, highly targeted, great traffic every day. People that already liked me and trusted me because they see my content, come to my website, join my list. I was doing really well with it, and I got 3 strikes within a 6-month period, and to this day I still do not know why I got the strikes. Again, when I never do anything unethical in my marketing, and when I would ask Google, I'd ask YouTube, I'd say, hey, I got this strike on this video, I'm really, and they always say, we want you to it's gone against the community guidelines or the advertorial guidelines or whatever. There's 2 types of guidelines in Google. And I would read through, I had read through those guidelines before, and when I got the strikes, I'd read through them again and again, and honestly, I couldn't see, and that's a frustrating thing, I couldn't tell. And so I would ask them, hey, can you tell me specifically what I did wrong, because I've read the guidelines and I still can't see what the issue was, and they never got back to me. So yeah, I really don't know, even to this day, not sure what happened there. So
It could have been malevolent competitors making a complaint, John. Who I don't know, but I've heard of that.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's the only way really that you get these red flags is when someone complains about something.
So
I don't think it's YouTube themselves going out there and red flagging it. So yeah, definitely. Could be just competitors, and
could be, but what my point about that is that from everything I saw of what you've done to this date, you seem to take the high road at every turn, and it shows. And so this kind of pesty kind of stupid stuff on YouTube. I'm sort of off on a tangent here, and I don't want to. I wanted to kind of ask you, in your journey so far, do you still see for yourself going forward that YouTube is a good, respectable way for you to reach people and help us to do better at internet marketing?
Yeah, look, yeah, definitely. It certainly is. YouTube's amazing. I highly recommend it for any person that has a business. Doesn't matter if you're offline or online business. Definitely highly recommend it. Look, the lessons I sort of learned from experience I have is that you never have all your eggs in one basket. And so look, I still have my online businesses, and I just find other ways to get traffic. So I have a blog that I get search engine traffic with.
Right.
I have a podcast, and that's doing really well, and I enjoy the podcast. So
how can people get hooked up with your podcast, John? How does that work? What's the best way?
Thanks for asking. So yeah, you can find out more about it on my website, johnlagoudakis.com. I'll spell that JOHNLAGOUDAKIS.com. It's just my name, johnlagoudakis.com. You can find out more about my podcast, or if you've got an iPhone or iOS device, you can in the iTunes store you can search my name. You'll find it there. It's called the johnlagoudakis.com podcast, or it's on Stitcher and all the other major podcast networks as well.
But we'll be putting a link up, of course, with this material that we're doing now. And once again, thanks to John for taking the time to do this. I had a question for you that I'm not sure if you knew I was going to ask about it, but here it is. Just let me know how you feel about this part of the internet, make money online area. It has to do with programs like the Empower Network, which some of our visitors to this information will be aware of, and some people won't. Basically, my understanding is it's something where you have to pay to play. Do you have any feeling one way or other about this sort of area of online marketing?
Yeah.
Make money online.
Yeah. Good question, Robert. I'm not a big fan of it myself. As long as I don't mind the pay to play, as long as when you're paying, it is something of real value.
Okay.
That you're paying for. You're not just paying because, that's the way that everyone makes money, sort of thing. Because that is not sustainable. You're going to get to a point where if the money you're paying to be part of the program is not delivering some value to you. And let me give you an example of what I mean. So with the Empower Network, my understanding is your basic membership that you get a blog.
Right.
You get the Empower Network blog, right? So if that is not worth the $25 per month or whatever it costs, if that value is not there, then yeah, if you're paying $25 a month but you're not even using the Empower Network blog, you're using your own domain and you've got a WordPress blog,
right?
Then I'm not a big fan of that kind of thing, because it's going to be tough to sell as well if there's no real value in it. Again, if it's just that the person's paying so that they can earn referral commissions. And there's other programs out there like that have a similar structure to Empower Network. Empower is not the only one, but yeah, I'm not into it myself.
But a person like you could influence people to join big payout deals that really are mostly just about money and finding the next person to entice them to also do the same thing. You could, if you wanted to, cash in on your credibility. I think you could, or you could start another division, the sort of black hat version of you, and no one, but you don't seem to do that. So what's up with that? Why wouldn't you want to squeeze the cow and
Yeah, thanks for asking, Robert. Yeah, look, I've had many opportunities over the years since I've been building my list in early 2000 or around 2008 when I started building it, to promote stuff, pretty much promote anything I want. And yeah, up until this point, I haven't promoted anything I really don't believe is good value for money.
right?
And so, I've had people that have been on my list for many years, and when I do promote something, they'll buy it because they know, hey, this is not just something John's promoting for the sake of promoting something. It's something he really thinks is good value. And so that's why I do what I do, because, again, for years, people are on my list and they'll buy on my recommendation. Whereas a lot of marketers out there, they churn their list really fast, so they'll get people in really fast. They'll promote whatever's hot at the moment, and those people stay on their list a very short period of time, and they'll make money. And some of them, look, a lot of these marketers make really good money, a lot more money than what I do. But that's not me. So for me, yes, I do this to make money, no doubt about it. But at the same time, again, it's about who am I becoming? It is very important to me. So that's one of the key things. One of the things I like to sort of base my decisions on and my business around is something that Zig Ziglar once
Okay.
said that I really
The
liked.
Zigster,
And he said,
right?
yeah, he said that you can have everything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And I really believe in that. So I believe that success is not making money really fast. It can be for some people. It can be, and it doesn't mean that if you make money really fast, you're doing something wrong. I'm not saying that either.
Okay.
I'm not trying to say that anyone that makes money. And look, it's just yeah. That's not what I guess. Yeah, it's not what I'm trying to say. But I believe that whatever you do, it's wise not just to look for ways to make money at any cost. Let's put it that way. Make sure there's real value in what you're doing.
What do you, along that line, by the way, this is sort of along that line, what do you think about when you build a website and you're trying to rank on page one on Google? There's that, again, there's the golden dream, ranking on page one of Google in some particular niche, maybe in some particular geographical location, but that's the aim. It's the holy grail. So what do you think about, in this modern day and age, 2017, the use of spin rewriting, spun material to save time and that kind of thing? John, where do you come down on all this kind of part of content creation and getting your way to page one on Google? Private blog networks, Web 2.0, backlinks, you name it.
Yeah, look, backlinks are important, but definitely would not recommend using spun content in any way, whether it's on your own site or on blog networks or anyone else's site, to get links back to your own website. Yeah, it's definitely not the way to go. If anything, it'll do you more harm than it'll do you good.
Right.
So while backlinks are important, yes, that's not the way to go about it. The way to go about it is doing stuff like this. So collaborating with other people, whether you're a guest blogger or you're doing an interview with them like we're doing here, it could be audio, it could be video, and getting your links out there that way, or that your stuff is so good people will actually want to link to it. You know?
What a thought.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Who would have thought of that one? Yeah.
Well, values, I guess, what Google wants to deliver, too. That's what they're trying to figure out as they look at all the different bits of information out there. Is this website the real deal, or is it pretending? There's a lot of pretending going on online, I think, in general, in different types of niches. You get onto an article, you start to read it, and you begin to realize pretty quickly that it probably has been spun. It's still out there. I've run into it. Have you run into that as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't come across a lot of it myself, the spun content. I think, when I'm searching Google and I click on their links and I go to stuff, it's usually pretty good stuff.
Right.
Which goes to show you that, yeah, spun content just really doesn't work. But you're right. Look, whenever I do come across spun content, it's very obvious. It's a big turn off.
Yes.
And you just have no respect for that site.
So, you've made it very clear. Don't spin. Just don't bother. It's not worth the inevitable Google is going to catch it kind of thing. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah. And what do you think about going in and pretending to be, when you're building a website, using a proxy to get an IP address so that you appear to be local, even going so far as to get citations for a website the little stars. I think that's what the citations are, and ratings from, but they're phony, and that would mean also securing an address in a local area where you're not actually present, and sort of hiding the business in this phoniness to try and once again score on page one on Google. You think that's basically doomed to failure overall as a way to build stuff in a local area to capture a niche?
Well, look, and when you say with the local, can you give me an example of
let's say you decide to build a plumber site in a small geographical area, 300,000 population or less, somewhere in the United States. You take the time to go in and search the niche carefully in different towns and cities to see what the lay of the land is like vis-a-vis the websites, what they're structured like, and what you're seeing when you go into the website source code, for example, and you go in and take a look at how they build out the keywords and other stuff like that, so you get a feel for it. And when you go in to build this website on plumbing, you go in and you mask your identity basically by getting a proxy to give you a different IP address than the one you really are in, and you do some other things like that, security measures, so that Google doesn't, you don't leave this magical footprint and fingerprints that give Google a clue.
Sorry, Robert. So it's let's say it's a plumbing site.
Yeah.
And how are you monetizing this site?
Well, it could be for.
Because you're not there locally, so you're obviously not going to be taking.
It could be for lead gen. It could be for lead generation.
Okay, for lead gen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look. Again, so it depends what you do with the leads. Like if you're going to be selling them to local plumbers there, if it's, look, I don't know. I mean, I've never tried that kind of thing before. I don't think, my feeling is that you wouldn't need to go to those extreme measures that you mentioned of using a proxy while you're setting up the site and all that kind of thing. Never do anything never give fake testimonials, ever. Fake reviews, don't ever do it. But if I wanted to set up a lead generation site, a particular niche in an area that I'm not next to, look, I can go and set up a website and optimize it for that area. Again, I wouldn't use fake reviews. I'd never.
What about a fake address? See, none of that makes sense to me. None of that sort of thing makes sense to me, but it's out there and being practiced by people trying to crack the page one code. Yeah.
Look, anything that you do that is fake, i.e. fake address or fake testimonials, it always comes back to bite you. So right. I would never recommend it. Yeah.
Right.
And look, if you're clever, you can get around those kind of things and do it legitimately. And so, for example, for a lead generation site, you don't necessarily have to pretend to be local. You don't have to pretend. I mean, to like give an address if it's just a review site. When it comes to testimonials, I don't know. I mean, one way could be that you work with the businesses in the area, and you say to them, look, I'm setting up a site reviewing plumbers in your area. I'd like to add you to the site so that you can get leads. And as part of it, I would like to get to do a profile of you on the website, your business. Can you send me some referrals of your clients? And of course, a lot of if you approach businesses the right way,
right.
I don't know of any business that would say to you, no, I do not want to be listed on your website. And leads. So if you do it correctly, you don't have to be dodgy in any way.
I really like what you're saying. It makes sense to me. and I'm learning some of the methods of how to do search engine optimization, and as it relates to so many different areas, and it's a pretty long list of different attributes that each one of them has its own little drop-down list, and then each one of those, if you see where I'm going, it's like the proverbial Russian fertility doll, just keeps opening up to another layer.
Yeah, look, with SEO, Robert, it's changing all the time. It's changed a lot. There's a lot of stuff out there that is really outdated that just does not work anymore. And so the key with success with SEO or with anything with internet marketing is to find someone, that's having success with it today, right now,
Right.
that you know is actually walking the walk, and just follow what they teach. And usually it's not hard. Usually it's just one or two few key things that they're doing really well. Because with SEO and with a lot of other strategies, you can't do everything, but you can just make sure you're doing the important things really well.
That brings me to something that I wanted to ask you about. I know that you offer personal training for people, and that I strongly encourage anyone, including myself, who's trying to figure all this stuff out, to be able to work with someone like you. And I believe you still have that as an opportunity that people can take advantage of. And from my understanding, you have some pretty fair deals, actually. When you take a look at what you offer, the depth and the quality of the content that you provide people, and all the extra stuff that's thrown in, basically just as sort of added, you're just lucky to be around, but you see it as a part of the service of helping people to be successful, I think. But you're still offering that kind of available mentorship for people. John, is that right? Short answer is...
It has changed a little bit recently, but basically, what I'm doing now, Robert, so for a while there I was working with a business, and I was their director of marketing, and that sort of opportunity, or that venture's finished late last year. So now I'm sort of, what I do offer is like consulting for internet, for business, for anyone that wants to do business online. And so I have, my packages are very reasonable. I do take into account whether you're a startup or whether you're an existing business with a lot of cash flow. So and I look at everything is customized basically. I look at, okay, where are you and what do you want to achieve? And definitely we talk about it before I do any work for a client. I always make sure that both of us have a really good discussion, know exactly where they are, where they want to be, and what I'll be doing, and then we'll talk about fees involved and all that kind of thing. But what you'll find when you work with me, it's definitely the results are always there. So I never guarantee something I won't be able to deliver. For example, first page ranking on Google. If I don't think I can get it for you, I will tell you up front you're not going to get it. And it's very reasonable anyway, very reasonable rates.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed, and also the amount of stuff that you help people do. For example, John, people who are still coming on board right now for the first time, hitting the Google search and going, how do I make money online? And they jump down the rabbit hole, and for some reason they get bitten by the idea of being able to make money while they sleep. The idea of, they hear about affiliate marketing and a light goes off and they go, ba-da-da-da, affiliate marketing, money while I sleep. I'll just promote this ClickBank product on romance, for example, in the dating niche, and my sales funnel will be amazing, and I am going to push traffic in there, and it's going to convert, and I'll be making money while I sleep. And they get it. They get this bug. Now, I'm speaking from personal experience.
Yeah, there's so much hype out there in the industry. There's some really good people there teaching really good stuff, but there's also at the same time a lot of people that they're just, there's this whole product launch industry. So within internet marketing, there's literally every single day a new product being launched, that new shiny objects that will talk about how you're going to make a lot of money using this particular program. And so because of that hype, excuse me, because of that hype, a lot of people get distracted. They're promised a lot of things that don't deliver. They get disappointed. They get burnt. And if you get caught up in the hype, you could be endlessly buying one program after the other. And some people do that and they get really discouraged.
Yes, there's a part of that process is the uncomfortable feeling of realizing that you suffer from it, but you can't seem to stop yourself. And along the way you learn a little bit, but if you could just make one commitment for long enough, and I heard one person put it, why don't you just master one thing at a time, like set your mind for 6 months on one particular skill set and really just plow at that until you've really got it, and then move on to the next thing. That's just one idea of many, but when I look at the training that you provide, you are able to you've been able to figure stuff out to help people break it down into the modules that they need to construct enough of the different parts, the components of a working online business that actually can allow them to earn some revenue. That's how I see it. You haven't just said, oh, well, for the next 6 months we're doing SEO. Instead, you've created a holistic process for people to be able to sequentially build. And this is based on your own, and I think your careful study of other masters of the game. Any comments on what I've said? Am I way off base here?
Yeah. So I think you're talking about my Platinum Online Business Coaching Program. That's
okay.
Right. It's a program I created sort of to take people through everything. Like, it pretty much covers most things. So from choosing your niche, all the way through to creating your website, your sales funnel, and then getting traffic to it. And really, look, there's lots of different ways to make money online. And with all the different strategies there are out there, like you were saying, Robert, it's important to just choose one. Just choose one. It's okay to look around and see and find out, get familiar with all the different types of strategies. And so you can go to places like the Warrior Forum, and that's a fantastic forum, and you'll find pretty much everything there about all the different ways you can make money online. But the important thing is that you just choose one, and you focus on that until you and only on that, not two, one. Pick one thing, find someone that's really good at it, join their mentoring program, and just follow the program. I find that today there's so much free information out there in the form of ebooks or webinars that you don't have to buy programs on every single topic. Trust me, you don't. You really do not. Gone are the days when if you wanted to learn something, you had to buy a $47 or $97 ebook. Everything you need to know right now, you can go on YouTube, you can hop on Google, you can, again, join a webinar, go to someone's site, get a free report, whatever. It's all there. Really, it is all there. What it is worth money paying for is the mentoring. So, again, aligning with someone that you know is successful, you know is helpful, that's going to work in your best interest, and to make sure that you're accountable and you are following the right path. That there's value in that. But as far as information on how to do stuff, honestly today you do not need to pay for it.
Understood about what you said about the high level of information out there that's free, but you also mentioned something that galvanizes my attention. Someone to be accountable to, as you go forward building your dream, essentially. Someone to be accountable to. That's for many people who would want to do this, that might be one of the most powerful parts of the process that you're offering, for example, in your coaching program. You mentioned it's called the Platinum. What was the name? The correct name?
So I had I used to make that available on my website.
Right.
And I think so. It sounds like you've got access to it, Robert. Platinum Online Business Coaching Program, and I don't make that available right now, but that takes you through the whole process.
Are you going to think of reopening that, John, or what do you?
I'm not sure. It's not on the books at this stage. Possibly down the track. Yeah.
Okay. Any other sort of secret sauce you got cooking that you want to hint about that might be coming out?
Okay. Yeah, look, there is something really important I haven't talked about yet, and this is something that I really wish I understood and put into practice many years ago.
Okay.
And that is recurring billing or subscriptions or membership.
Right.
However you want to put it. Doesn't matter how you want to put it. But building a business around acquiring a customer once and rebilling them is the model you want to do with pretty much any business you're in. I don't care what niche you're in. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're an offline, if you're a gardener, bill your clients per month. Say to them, hey, for $50 a month, I'll come whenever you need me to cut the grass and trim the hedges and take away the trees that have fallen down or whatever it is. But get your customers to pay you per month, not per trip or not per service rendered or whatever. You get clients with you on a recurring billing basis. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be yearly. An example of this again is your phone provider, okay, your internet provider. They're all monthly. Whatever you do, whatever business you're in. So right now, the focus for me with my business, with clients that I take on board, that I take care of their website and their sales funnel and all that kind of stuff, is they're with me on a recurring billing basis. So I don't lock them in myself, just so that there's no stress on their part. It's a no-brainer for them. They can stay for as long as they like. It's a win-win situation because with recurring billing, I can offer a lot of value and they don't have to pay a lot of money up front. Right. They can just pay me on a monthly basis. And for them to, it keeps me on my toes because if I'm not performing for them, I know they'll leave at any moment's notice. So it's a win-win for everyone.
That makes a lot of sense.
Another win is that I know exactly how much money I've got coming in my business every month. And the more clients I get, the more money I make. I can bring more staff on board and all that kind of thing. But the big problem when you're just selling one-off products, whether they're small items or they're large, high-ticket items, it doesn't matter. If you don't have recurring billing in your business, you're always chasing the sale.
You're only as good as your last sale, kiddo.
Exactly, and you got to, every month you got to get out there and make sure that sales machine, whatever,
darn right.
So, definitely, what I highly recommend, whatever business you're in, offline or online, do a recurring billing. Again, it could be clients you have pay you on a monthly basis. Could be a membership site, some kind of subscription, whatever it is. It might not be your full. I'm not saying that everything you charge and every product you have has to be recurring billing, because you might have one-off products in your funnel, and that's okay. But you want the foundation of your business to be recurring billing.
Got it. Maybe some of our listeners and viewers have attended a Monday morning sales meeting in their life, in their career at some point or another, if they've been involved in sales or marketing in some way or another, and they remember that moment when there was the discussion about how sales are going and the need to go out and perform, and basically in the dream of internet marketing is that you make money while you sleep. And somehow or another, there are people listening who have just, for the first time, stumbled across this concept of being able to make money online. And then there might be people who've suffered a veil of tears, John, who have wept at night, perhaps with their spouse turned angrily away because of the hours they've spent trying to figure this thing out, as they say in the enticing commercials online. Finally, I broke the code, and the money started to pour in. But you did have that transcendental moment. I know you did, especially with ClickBank. You were, I don't know how many times you're number one, but you're a guy with some gravitas. You actually have walked the talk and talked the walk. Do you have any comments about that?
I think when, with my experience, it's, I didn't have success straight away. So when I came online back in 2006, I think when I first started online, the reason why I went online was because I read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad back in 2005, and that was a big game change. That was changed my whole paradigm, and I knew that I didn't want to be working for money, exchanging time for money anymore. Even though I had my own business, I was still exchanging time for money because it's a small business, and I knew I wanted to create a business where it didn't rely on me. And so I started with network marketing. I spoke to, my brother was already involved in a company. I joined with him. It was a good product. I really believed in it. I approached people I knew. I did letter drops around the area. And I sort of got to a point where I thought, well, maybe I'll go online and find people that'll be easier. So I hopped online, and I did have some success in signing up people online. This is, 2006, 2007. But at the same time, I kept seeing this affiliate marketing and make money with affiliate marketing. And I tried it, and it didn't work for me. I mean, I bought a few different books, tried the strategies, didn't make money. And I spent quite a bit of time, and not a lot of money. I wouldn't say a lot of money, but a bit of money. And it just didn't work out until I finally did buy a book written by someone that I really respect, even to this day. Someone that, it wasn't about the hype. It was, someone that was making money and really, really sincerely wanted to help people. Anyway, it's followed his strategy, and it worked. And because it worked, I made like $1 on my first campaign profit. I spent $1 on advertising. I made $2 commission, and so it worked immediately. And I just went hard at it, and I just put a lot of effort in it, and just kept creating more and more of these campaigns until I was making enough money to give up my day job. And so, what I say to people that want to have an online business, try different things. But once you're comfortable, you know which strategy, or do research into different strategies. But once you've found something that you feel you can work at, go at it 100%. Preferably with a mentor that can guide you as well.
Right.
If you're and if you have a legitimate program, and you work at it 100% and you don't give up, there's no reason why you won't have success.
Okay.
The reason people don't have success, and I see it time and time again, I still see it today with people that I talk to, is that they buy stuff, and then honestly, most people do not do anything with it. I'll tell you this. I used to have this program called the list marketing system that I used to sell for around $200, where I would set up a very simple list building mini site. And it was based on what I was currently using, so I knew it worked, and that's why I was building it for people. So all they had to do was, for the $200, all they have to do was register their domain name,
right,
and and create their web hosting account. That's all you had to do. So you pay. So when you join, when you pay $200, I give you step-by-step video instructions on how to register a domain name and set up your web hosting account. It literally would take you 15 minutes to do it.
Right.
Again, it's step-by-step, so it's a no-brainer. Now, out of all the people that bought the list marketing system, and I had it for I was running it for about 4 years. I had hundreds of people buy it.
Right.
How many people? What percentage of people do you think, once they paid the $200, actually went and registered a domain?
Oh boy.
And set up a web hosting account?
20%. 20%.
50% of people did that. 50% of people.
Okay,
did
that's. I was trying the Pareto, but it didn't work.
Oh, right. Well, no, we're not finished yet, though. We're not finished yet. So half the people, when they bought it, they didn't register a domain name, and they didn't register a web hosting account. They didn't do that. 50% of people that bought it. The other 50% that did buy it, that did do that, I should say. When I set up their list marketing system for them, how many of those people do you think actually went through the step-by-step training and conference calls with me to drive traffic to their squeeze page to build their list and make some money?
20%.
Most probably around 20%. Maybe about 20%.
I'm just guessing using the old the tried and true 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
It seemed that's bizarre. I mean, that is really like, oh, okay. Here's the dream. I've just given you an opportunity to actually capture that dream and then start to manifest it. But what's the holdback, John? What's going on?
Yeah, so look, I'm not sure what it is, but sadly, a lot of people get caught up in the hype, and they'll buy the dream, so they'll pay money, but when it actually comes to taking action, a lot of people just don't do anything. And look, I'm not really sure the reason why, but one thing that I do and that I teach my clients to do is, I call it the 15-minute principle, and is this. Because what's the biggest reason, Robert, that people will give you if you tell them, why aren't you doing anything with your online business? What do you think the biggest excuse is going to be?
I don't know what I'm doing. That's what comes to mind.
Okay.
I really don't know what I'm doing.
Let's say they bought your program, and you've got the step-by-step training there, and you've given them specific instruction because they've been on a conference call with you and you've actually talked to them. What do you think? So let's say that's not an excuse, because
okay, fair enough.
Program.
I found something else.
Okay, I definitely hear that sometimes. The main thing I hear is, I don't have enough time.
Okay.
So if I say, Bob, what happened? Why didn't you do anything this week? Oh, I just, life. It's life, right? It's life takes over.
Okay, that means that they don't have enough of a burning desire, because you'd find the time is my sort of view. What do you think?
Yeah, look, that's true.
Sometimes.
And also, sometimes people have this idea, it's hard to get started sometimes too. Like to motivate yourself to get started. And we tell ourselves we don't have enough time. But what I tell clients is this. 15 minutes a day principle, I tell them.
Okay.
Tell yourself that you're going to spend 15 minutes a day on your business no matter what. Now, how many people have 15 minutes in a day, every day?
All 15 minutes together, not in separate cracks of time, but all 15 minutes together at the same time?
Everyone has 15 minutes, right? Everyone can set aside 15 minutes. Doesn't matter who you are. Just 15 minutes. Now, if you were to spend 15 minutes and get started on your business, don't worry about the mountain. Just start from the bottom, start walking it up. You'll spend 15 minutes, you would get to the top of that mountain quicker than you think. Much quicker. But it's just committing yourself and spending that 15 minutes. Now, when you get started, you realize that it's actually not as hard as you thought. Like, because we build this resistance up in our mind.
That's true.
A great book that I read recently was Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield. It's a fantastic short book. It's like 45 minutes if you download it off Audible.
Okay.
Or an hour and 15 minutes.
What's that name again?
It's Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield.
Okay.
And what he talks about is that every time you have something worthwhile that you want to achieve, there will always be resistance.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
Not just business, in anything. And what you need to realize is there's resistance there, not because it's a bad idea, not because you won't be able to achieve it. That's just the nature of the universe. All right. it's going to be resistance. So what we need to do is get our minds around that and say, okay, look, I'm gonna, no matter what, 15 minutes. I don't care how hard I think it's going to be. I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day. And if you do that, the hardest part is literally getting started. Is focusing your attention, turning off everything else, muting your phone, turning Facebook off, opening your browser to where the course begins, or where you need to take action next. And what you find is, if you spend 15 minutes a day, you'll be amazed how much you accomplish. But also, just what will happen is, because you've actually got started and you spent that 15 minutes, many times that 15 minutes will turn into 20 minutes, or half an hour, or 2 hours, because you got started and you're getting into it, you don't want to stop.
Right.
So just tell yourself 15 minutes a day. Now, trust me, if everyone here that's listening that has a goal to start an online business, or to make their online business successful, or get more momentum happening, if they were to do that one thing, if they were to say to themselves, I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day on my online business, no matter what, because you're doing it on a daily basis, and even if you only spend 15 minutes, you'll be amazed how much you accomplish. But you need to be consistent, so you need to be doing it daily, keep that momentum going. One project only, one strategy, follow it to the T, don't reinvent the wheel, you'll have success.
And what do you think it's necessary, someone who's listening, about accountability? The more you throw yourself into that part of the agreement process between yourself and someone you're accountable to, and really take that part seriously, that's got to be... And the reason I'm stressing that is it strikes me as being maybe one of the more important parts of the offer that you bring to the table for your potential future students and people who cooperate with you, that you're saying, hey, there's an accountability feature here. How do you feel about that? You've gone through this with people. Is there a market pattern where someone who is obviously wants to be accountable and makes themselves accountable, do you notice that there's any kind of special, is that part of the secret sauce for people that you've noticed who've done better than others, who have come your way and said, John, help me, John, I really want to get this.
No doubt about it. Because you know what, even if you were to spend 15 minutes a day, you can't spend it on stuff that keeps you busy but not actually make progress. So that's why accountability is so important, because you need to have something specifically that you're working towards, so that you don't just do stuff for the sake of doing stuff. So I remember there was one particular client I was working with, and things weren't really happening. I said, okay, that's it. You need to be doing more video, more of YouTube. So I said between now and next week, I want you to create one video and upload it to YouTube. No matter how long it takes you. I don't care how long it takes you. That's your goal for this week. One video, create it, upload it to YouTube. Now, for some listening, they might think, well, that's easy. But for this gentleman, it wasn't easy. He just wasn't used to that technology. So, you know what? It took him hours. I think it took him like 8 to 10 hours, but he did it. Now, the next week, I said to him, okay, that's great. That's awesome. Now, next week, I want you to do 3 videos.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, he did it. But did it take him 8 hours to do each of those 3 videos? No. It took him about 2 hours on average for each of those 3, which still is quite a long time. But now, years later, he's got hundreds of videos now on YouTube. It takes him minutes to do it now.
Right.
And he gets free traffic. He gets opt-ins every single day because of that skill.
Wow.
On autopilot.
Yeah. Making money while you sleep.
Making money while you sleep, right. And it's because he was kept accountable. Because, he had someone telling him, this is what you have to do, and I'm going to follow up with you in a week's time.
Right.
And I've done that many times with clients. And look, at a certain point, I need to keep myself accountable too. Because for myself, one person I keep myself accountable to is my wife. So I keep her updated and I tell her what I want to achieve. And so we discuss that together. So if you don't have a mentor, that if you got a significant other, you can definitely use that for accountability. It can be a friend, okay, that preferably someone that's also trying to achieve the same as you, and so you can discuss what's working, what not working, and so forth.
It's really good to be able to have someone that you can also say, hey, I'm having a problem, I'm having a challenge, I'm having a struggle, and reach out and be able to say, what would you do? Have you run into this? And I imagine in your career so far in the internet sphere of things, you must have had people come forward and ask you for help with special problems that they've run into, that they just don't know what to do. It must be one of the great joys of your life to help people out in the internet community who have a good business, who are sincere people, and not just out there trying to flim flam. And I understand you have helped a number of bricks and mortar businesses to be able to figure out some sales funnels and be able to even improve their bricks and mortar results as well as the online side of things. Am I off base there, John? I seem to have a memory that you are doing that kind of work.
Oh yeah, definitely. So everything you learn with an online business, you can apply all marketing strategies work with any medium. The great thing about online business is that you can automate a lot of stuff.
Right.
And you can outsource a lot of it to like the Philippines. But yeah, definitely the strategies that I've learned that I apply in my online businesses, I definitely use it to help offline businesses. I'll give you an example. So in the restaurant business, for example, creating an SMS list so that when you have the quiet days, you can send an email or an SMS blast to your existing customers and let them know about a special offer that you've got. For anyone that comes in tonight, you're going to get a free glass of wine with your meal or whatever. So it's exactly like email marketing, but in the offline world, it works just as well. It works even actually better. It works better for offline businesses when they start using online style strategies. It works really well in the offline world.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? If you've got a favorite pizza restaurant in your neighborhood, you could possibly go and pitch the owner and say, hey, how about if I help you out in times when you'd like to have some more customers coming in? We've got a couple of these strategies you just mentioned, and some ways to bring concrete, how to get in contact with people a certain radius around your restaurant, and let them know about your fantastic, incredible noontime pizza offer. And this kind of, sometimes I think we cringe at the commercialization of our life, but the honest truth is that we are all, in a sort of a sense, salespeople, and it's important for the people who want to be successful online to understand that you've only got your integrity, really, and your trust factor going forward. And I guess I'm kind of wrapping this up, John. It's like you were saying to me at the beginning, it's better to be, you're living for what you're going to become. I'm paraphrasing. And you made it clear tonight in this talk that to avoid the spammy stuff, the spinny stuff, the spin content, don't do any of the fake citation, customer reviews, stay out of all that black hat sort of stuff, and run the squeaky wheel. Don't have integrity. Do you have someone you're accountable to in business aside from your wife? Do you have that mentor that you're like, you go to and you say, master?
Yeah. Look, everyone needs one. I don't have one at the moment. No, I don't. But I think that will change in the very near future. I wanted to mention one more thing, Robert, that I think will sort of maybe tie to everything together we've been talking about too. So for anyone that's listening right now and they're thinking, okay, well, look, I'm not sure what I could do, for my own online business and generate recurring income. Here's an idea. Here's just one idea that could work for you. what you want to be doing is basically look around you and see how can I offer what something that I can offer value in, or where is there a need. And here's something I noticed recently. When I was doing a bit of research to see how many of my local businesses had a Facebook page for their business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many of my local businesses have a Facebook page? Not many. I could easily approach or create a simple flyer, go around to all these local businesses and say, hey, I'll create a Facebook page for you and help you maintain it. I.e., they can send me photos or videos of stuff they're doing. I can upload it for them, or help them by responding to people that make comments on their page or whatever. Just help maintain that Facebook page, and maybe create other social media accounts for them, like a Twitter account or Pinterest and so forth. Now, how much can I charge for that service? I could go around and I could charge, I don't know, $47 a month, $37 a month, whatever you think, $97, whatever you think, depending on what value you're offering, and maybe you'll have different packages. I wouldn't keep it complicated. I'd keep it maybe one or two different types of packages. There you go. A simple idea that literally anyone could do. How long would it take you to learn how to create a Facebook page? And I mean, you most probably already know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
So
it's not hard if you can click, do a little reading. Yeah, you can do it.
Exactly. You could learn in a day how to create a Facebook page. Again, go out to all these businesses, offer them a great deal where you can help them get a presence, get them learn not only how to create a Facebook page, learn how to get that local business on the Facebook. When people do search for places around near me, so get them a Facebook page, but also get them as a physical business, like i.e. with an address on Facebook, and create their Google business listing for them, create their Bing business listing, which is free, and will help them again get customers because they're coming up when people search for businesses in the area.
Right.
So that could be a package you can offer. It could be recurring billing, great value. It's very easy to sell. There's an idea, but there's lots of ideas like that. And why I mention that is because a lot of people have this idea that I'm going to get online, I'm going to go to ClickBank and pick a product and promote that product. You know what? There's so much competition for that out there. Like, finding a digital product and setting up a blog or advertising on a Facebook page or whatever. You're going to struggle, really, big time. So don't do what everyone else is doing. Just do something that is simple, but you can do really well yourself. You can promote easily. You don't even have to spend money promoting, really.
Right. And as you've mentioned, you had your aha moment that you wanted to share with us, the secret sauce. Get in on those subscription, the reoccurring billing. Try and think in that mode for developing a business going forward.
Yeah, so in that example, like I wouldn't go to those businesses and say, for $200 I'll set that up for you. No. I would say to them, look, I'm going to charge you a monthly fee. Small monthly fee, get lots of clients on board, offer them great value, and they'll stay with you, and you've got something that's earning money for you every single month. Build it up, hire, and once you get to the point, where you've got too many clients and you're making really good money, you start outsourcing a lot of what you're doing to the Philippines. Then you've got a real business that's working for you on autopilot while you go off and travel the world and do all that great stuff.
Yeah, this interview might well be subtitled "And Make Money While You Sleep."
Yeah, why not? Let's do that.
John, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to do this. It's been great for me, and I've learned some pretty cool stuff, and just once again, thank you for doing it.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. Really appreciate you having me on.
Okay. That's it, everybody. See you next time. Bye, John.
Bye, Robert. Bye, everyone.